Hello, hello, hello everyone, and welcome back to something completely different. This is Slay the Spire. I have played a fair number of roguelikes in my time, enough that I've actually been considering making a definitive what is a roguelike, well, not definitive, whatever, a opinion piece on what is a roguelike, and then just classify different roguelikes and roguelites by rogueness. If I had to say what I think the core components of a good roguelike are, it's that it forces you to make decisions under conditions of uncertainty, preferably brought about by random dungeon design, random procedurally generated, would be a better word, challenges. It gives you very finite resources, and forces you to make difficult trade-off decisions, to use those finite resources to minimize your risk and maximize your probability of success against those conditions of uncertainty, aforementioned conditions of uncertainty. And I know that's kind of a poorly hewn description, but I feel like that's the core essence of roguelike. And of course, it punishes your mistakes by death, which is permanent and punishing. So unlike most games where do you really want to use your one-time 11 billion damage item? See if you can work without it. You can always reload and only use it if you have to. In a roguelike, you sometimes find yourself using that item just in case. Slay the Spire does this while being a card game. It is rife with interesting, challenging decisions. I have played the game at this point, I would say I've done about 8 runs with the Ironclad and 2 runs with the Silent. I won 3 of my runs with the Ironclad, and I've won every time with the Silent, so I'm reasonably decent at least at the basic difficulty. And now it's erased all my progress because I've decided to jump into the beta and I don't know what's changed. But this video is just going to be a simple playthrough, and I'll explain as I go, but expect me to run this game more often, because this is very fun, and I hope to encourage you all to give it a try. It's $15 right now on Steam. If you're into roguelikes and you don't dislike card games, or you're into trading card game logic, but don't like pay-to-win or PvP, this is really a good choice to pick up. And I'll explain things as I go, I guess. Alright, so Ironclad starts off with this ability to heal 6 after each combat. Game is broken up into 3 acts. Each act has a map, and you choose your path at each branch to kind of choose which way you're going to go. Right off the bat, we have our first kind of trade-off. Do I take more combat encounters and accrue more money and random cards? Do I take more of my random chance encounters, which may or may not in fact be combat? Do I want to optimize for merchants? Do I hit more campfires going one route and then risk more randoms the other, etc., etc.? And what you'll find out is your initial plan is going to change based on what happens. This picture represents what the final act boss will be. I'm still new enough to the game, I don't know them all or their substrats, and I'm not looking stuff up in the wiki. I much prefer to learn as I go. It makes the game more interesting. So, 1-2 monsters, 3 monsters with a couple randos, or 1 monster, merchant, 3 randos. Considering I heal between encounters, I'd rather get a few good cards up front. I could go to the merchant and buy my first card, but then I'm looking at 3 non-combat encounters, and that's a lot. Alternative way to think of it is I can take these 3 non-combat encounters and go straight to this elite, and I'm more likely to be in good condition to fight an elite at that point. Yeah, let's do this. Let's fight this fight, and then we'll make this decision. Oh, please, I know how to do this. Okay, so how does the fighting work? You have a 10-card deck, starting with some very basic cards. You draw 5 at the start of each turn, and you will discard your hand at the end of turn. You have 3 action points, or energy, which you can use to play a card, and you'll notice these cards each cost 1, so I can do 3 actions. It tells me what my opponent plans to do, and so I strategize accordingly. So in this situation, strike for 6, and I really don't need to block. Block gives me temporary hit points that only last until the beginning of next turn, so in this situation won't do much. He is going to hit me for 6 damage. if I can put 5 block up, I can negate most of that. I'm going to use 2 action points to strike for 8 damage and apply Vulnerable. Vulnerable will make him 50% more vulnerable to future attacks, and you'll notice how good this interface is. Everything jumps out at you, any keywords immediately are popped up and explained. If you hover over the monster, it even, I can't use the mouse button, it even would change those numbers dynamically, like I'll show you. This is a 6 damage attack, right? But since he now has Vulnerable for 2 more turns, see how it turns to a 9 damage attack, just to make math even easier? And here it tells me what all of his buffs mean, blah blah blah. I'm going to go ahead and block the 5 at this point, take 1 damage. Given my heal 6 at end of combat, I should still be okay for a perfect finish here, potentially. Now that I've gone through my deck once, my discard pile becomes my deck, and I redraw. And in this manner I rapidly cycle through my deck. 10 block should be adequate to deal with this 9 attack. And it's starting to look like I may get through this fight with minimal damage taken. 6, 12, 18. I no longer have the buff on board, and since I have no ability to block here, I could go 8 and 9 is 17 and keep the vulnerables applied. That's probably better. All I need now is 1 strike to finish him, but I'm going to take a lot of damage here, and there's nothing I can do about that. Ugh, that 9 strength is brutal. Finish him. Heal 6 is beautiful. Gold, Fear Potion, got it. Add a free card. So there are 3 card types. Skill cards, which, here, let's pull my deck and I'll show you. Skill cards, which broadly speaking are non-offensive. Attack cards, which broadly speaking deal damage and then do other things. And then power cards, which give you a permanent passive for the rest of the game. At the end of your turn, for each attack played this turn, deal 1 damage to all enemies. This is usually going to be 1, 2, or 3 attacks at most. And I don't know, I'm not super excited about this card. Deal 12 damage, apply 2 weak. Being able to apply weak to an enemy is very nice. Significant damage mitigation. But I think Iron Wave is the most versatile card here. 5 defense, 5 offense. 100 gold is just enough to buy something cheap at a merchant, but not much more than that. And there is a future merchant potential. I'm gonna opt for getting more value initially, so more monsters to kill, please. Perfect. So this guy is gonna give me a negative effect, but not damage me. This guy is going to attack for 5. I can kill him with 2 strikes easily enough. And then we'll just play some damage. So, you know, you've got your card game logic here of building a good deck as you go, making strategic decisions as to which card to add to your deck when. And, oh, yeah, I absolutely adore that, by the way. Like, you know how I said initially that this really does play out like a roguelike? That's kind of what I meant. You're given those options between 3 cards. None of them are just the obvious correct choice. Okay, sometimes it's kind of obvious what the best option is, but what I mean by this is none of them is just straight better than the other. It's just that they do different things, and you kind of have to decide, is this the thing that you want your deck to do? Add 2 wounds to your hand, gain 15 block. That's a really, really good block card, but I would rather just have 10 block, no downside. Alternative, Perfected Strike, which is a very vicious attack card. 6 damage, plus 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 additional damage. So 22-ish damage in 1 hit. I'm going to take this only because one of the 2 or 3 common elites in Act 1 requires more DPS, and right now I don't have a good DPS card. Either gain a lot of gold and lose some HP, or just lose some gold to not lose 11 HP. See, this is right now an easy choice, but you see what I mean? Like, at every turn this game is trying to give you procedurally generated choices which add up to a good roguelike. You'll notice that you don't auto-heal after fights. It takes my special relic to even give me the 6 HP back. Campfires are where you heal up, and even they, as you can see, are not a super common occurrence. You might get 2 or 3 in a whole path, and they only heal for 30% of max HP, and it's a trade-off because you're choosing not to upgrade cards when you get there. I'll explain upgrading cards later. In this situation, I'm happily going to take a little bit of damage. I don't have a fight going on for a bit. Hopefully I can just heal 6 per fight and be okay. 18 damage is very tempting here, but I kind of want to get through this and take even less damage if possible. So I could use my Fear Potion, and that will make him vulnerable. 50% more damage is going to be roughly 27, and an additional 7 or so is 34. It's still sub-lethal. But it does set me up for a 2-turn lethal, and with blocking 5 and taking exactly 6 damage, I might not be able to heal after the fight, but nah, you know what? My deck is still really thin. I'll get another chance to hit him with the Perfect Strike. For now, let's just mitigate damage down to 1 and see if I can wing it. Yeah, that worked out. He's going to both attack and block. Good twofer for him. And much like my block wears off at the end of turn, so does his. He isn't actually going to attack me this turn at all, so I can just go all out on him. And now I'm going to get my Perfect Strike again, and that should be enough to take him out. I did not get my Perfect Strike. 8 and 9 is 17. I think that's sub-lethal. So again, I would much rather get my full heal off if at all possible right now, because I took intentional damage, and I'm going to be trying to take on that elite next. There we go, Perfect Strike, finish him. Finish him! Full heal, excellent. Potions are one-time use abilities, and oh, these are all good. Cleave, 8 damage to all enemies, which is a nice AoE. Armaments, block, which as you can see is the key to keeping my HP up, plus upgrades a card. Now, what does that mean? All cards have 2 versions, the base version and the plus version. The plus version is stronger in some way, either cheaper, bigger numbers, or works on more targets. I'm definitely going to take armaments because right now I can dynamically upgrade a card on the fly that way. Ooh, this is awesome. The next 2 chests you open contain 2 relics. Guarantees... These relics that you pick up are passives, and you can stack an arbitrarily large number of these positive passives. Elites are guaranteed to give you a relic, so I will in fact take on this elite in the hopes of getting one. These all have the ability to negate the first status effect I put on them, boo, but that's about it. I have 0 block in hand right now, so I'm going to take damage here. I could hit for 24 damage, or for 8 damage apply vulnerable, which is not going to stack because of this ability. I could use a Fear Potion, which will be negated, then bash to apply vulnerable and strike for 27. Still sub-lethal. So I prefer to just take this on the chin, honestly. I'll be okay. I also am focusing fire on this target because I want to get rid of him faster. So look at this. Their status effect is to add cards to my discard pile. These dazed cards, when drawn, don't have a cost, so they can't be played from hand. They're ethereal, which means at the end of turn they're going to wither away and be exhausted. But they're going to clog up my hand till then and slow down my deck. So, pretty effective for what they're trying to do. I think in this situation, I need to just turtle up because there's 16 damage coming my way. So 5 block, but upgrade this. And this upgrade will be permanent for the duration of combat, which then, of course, means next combat I'm going to have to re-upgrade if I want to continue to keep this upgraded. I can potentially kill this target, but that doesn't mitigate my incoming damage at all. This turn, it will next turn. I'm not going to be able to kill these targets, so here's the play. Set him up to die next turn, because he's not actually killing me this turn, and then just full block the entire damage incoming. Yes, it does add more ethereals to my deck, but you know what? I'm guaranteed enough block to go around next turn, so... Please, 1 strike. Yep, got my 1 strike. You know, I should have realized they were asynchronous. So I could have actually timed this better so that they... So I took out one of these guys, and there was always one attacking, one defending, instead of both attacking or both defending. Still, looks like it's going to work out okay. Let's go... this is interesting. If I play this and this, I get 12 block, but I can't use my upgraded card. If I play this and this, I take a lot more damage potentially. But I do hit for 15 plus 5 is 20. I say go damage mitigation right now, honestly. I know it seems like an odd choice, but... But next turn they're not going to deal damage at all. They're going to just add cards to my deck. So I'm probably okay. Yep. Exactly as predicted. And you'll notice these guys do not go to my discard. Ethereal means that they get removed at end of turn. Of course, these guys keep stacking my deck with crap. I really need to take this guy out. Oh, perfect. They're giving me the tool to do so. In fact, they're giving me nothing but the tool to do so. I wonder how much more damage I took this round by trying to not take damage earlier. If I had face tanked a little bit, maybe I could have killed these guys faster. Whatever. I'll heal up, it's not a big deal. But I hope you guys see what I mean when I say there's a lot of strategy involved in how you play things out here. I could pop the Gambler's Brew in any of these situations to get rid of these 3 cards, but then they don't get, you know, vaporized either. Finish him. Heal 6 to 56, and what did I get? Enemies with Vulnerable take lots of damage. So Vulnerable just became a lot more vulnerable to me. If an enemy is vulnerable, I can deal 5 damage, get back my action point, and draw a new card. That's a good add-on, but as of now, the only way I have of dealing vulnerable is Bash. And I don't know how willing I am to tilt my deck that direction. Hemokinesis, on the other hand, 14 damage to a single target for one action point, costs a little HP. I kind of like that card, just in general. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. So Campfire, 2 options. I can rest and heal 30% of my max HP, so 24 extra points. Gets me back to full this time. Or I could permanently upgrade a card in my deck. If, for example, I upgrade this bad boy, it goes from being +1 to +2 to +3 per strike. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 5 strikes in the deck, so that'll be 15 bonus, 21 base damage. The obvious choice, however, is definitely in my mind Armaments, because if I make this permanently upgraded every time it cycles in my hand, I upgrade all cards in my hand each fight, and quickly get a lot more upgrades to work with. Oh, what I wouldn't give for an AoE in this fight, but I don't have it. I can Hemokinese one of them to death instantly. I can Perfect Strike a second to death, and then just take the rest on the chin for 11. What are my other options? I can use Dexterity. I think I should use Dexterity here because there's a lot of damage facing me. Dexterity adds to every time I get block, so I can get 14 block total, which is actually enough to negate most of this. If I go 14 block and Hemokinesis this guy, that's 5, 10, 13, 17. That's a safe play. Yeah, let's do that. Set this guy up to die to just an ordinary strike. Yes. Take this guy out. Actually, this guy is the highest HP, so take him out right away. 14. Take it on the chin, baby. 10, 13, 7, 16. So yeah, 2 total damage plus the Hemokinesis. Owie. Okay, these 2 still plan to attack me, so they're the priorities to take out. First things first, upgrade the hand. I can full block with 1 because I upgraded it. And I don't know what these negative effects are going to be, but right now damage is the only effect I care about. Actually, no, that's not true. If I do that, it's still one less thing to deal with next turn, and these guys will probably cycle into not attacking and using a status effect next time, and I have a full block this time anyway. Nope, I was wrong, they keep attacking. And the status effect was actually quite brutal. Thank God that cycled just when it did. Am I full blocked yet? No, I need one more block. That should do it. This dexterity, the dexterity play really made a difference this fight. I would not have been able to consistently full block the way I have otherwise. And I'm gonna net HP when I'm done. So now you guys are pretty much slim pickings. Or easy pickings. Yes, easy. Easy peasy, Jeff-and easy. Kill one, block the other. Overkill. This is a nice way to mitigate damage by reducing everyone's attack once, but it's a one-turn effect. Clash is awesome. Attack, an extra attack. And if you look at my card choices right now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 skills, and the rest of my hand is attacks. I think I could very likely make good use of this, and a free 14 damage is not to be sneezed at. Let's go for it. Alright, branching paths, let's decide. Treasure chest plus free card upgrade, or treasure chest plus random encounter. I will take treasure chest plus free card upgrade, and then we have our full choices after that, so that's fine. Money. At the start of each combat, add a random colorless card to your hand. Ooh, colorless cards are all good. They're usually cheap and they have some strong effect. And I now have a full potion bandolier, so I never will be forced to discard potions. That's good. At 57 HP, what do I have coming up? Another elite fight. I feel bold. I'm gonna go for it. I'll just keep upgrading cards. Always good to give yourself more value. This is just a +4 to damage. It's not worth it. +4 to damage, less HP loss. Might be worth it. +2 to damage, longer lasting vulnerable might be worth it. Iron Wave might be worth it. These are all reasonable small upgrades. I'm gonna go with Hemokinesis because of my whole philosophy of preserving HP. Let's see. Of course, as anybody knows, HP is just a resource in card games, so as much as I'm tempted by these, I have money to spend, so I'm going to go to the merchant and see if there's anything worth buying. First place you look with the merchant is right here. These are the relics. Relics are always good. Gain an extra action point every first turn of combat. Well, that's just awesome. Every time you play 3 attacks in a single turn, gain 1 strength. Oof. Ooh, strength increases the value of all your attacks. That's an amazing, amazing pickup for me. If you end a turn without block, gain 6 block. Sounds nice, but not that helpful considering that I almost always have block at the end of my turn. And I usually want more than 6, so intentionally staying on 0 isn't that great. Then there's all these cards you can buy. I'll spare you guys reading all of them. This is the one to think about right off the bat because it's on sale, and because +2 strength is not to be sneezed at, boosts all your attacks for the turn from no actions. Thunderclap, however, is also pretty reasonable here. 4 damage and 1 vulnerable to all AoE. So slap on a Thunderclap, follow it up with solid attacks to deal damage. I think I'm going to play Shuriken. I will often be able to get 3 attacks in 1 turn, and that to permanently increase my strength for a fight is valuable. I really like the Lantern though. 4 actions on turn 1 of combat, and I'm not going to get it later, and it's cheaper. This is, again, the whole point I was getting at when I say this game makes you make hard choices a lot. Let's go with the Shuriken for the time being, and, you know, that's part of the learning curve, seeing if I'm right or wrong about it later. Kinda don't want to clutter my deck, but I foresee this and this both being good pickups. This I'm almost certainly going to find again later, so I'm not too worried about grabbing it now. Shuriken is going to give me plus strength, so I don't need Flex to do the same thing. Yeah, that's true. Flex is a skill. I need more attacks to make sure I proc Shuriken. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I honestly don't. I don't have anything else that works with this directly either. Like multi-attacks or anything. Let's take Thunderclap for the time being. It's the safe buy. It's a good AoE. I'm not sure that I made the right decision there. I might have been better off just removing a card from my deck for 100. Alright, Elite. Let's go. Well, remember how I have that thing that gives me a free colorless card? This is what I mean when I say they're generally good. No cost, and this guy will be vulnerable for 2 turns. Now this guy always uses the same first buff, which says if you do anything that isn't an attack from now on, he gets stronger. So if there was ever a good time to make him vulnerable, it's now. With a skill, I mean. And this is going to stack even more vulnerable on him. So now he's going to be vulnerable for 4 turns. And remember that I have vulnerable is super vulnerable, so that's good. I should be able to take this guy out pretty quick. There it is. Whenever you play a skill, he gains 2 strength. Well, this skill is still probably worth it to upgrade both these cards. But you'll see how that just went to 8. And that is going to be permanent for the whole fight. Still, I can fully face tank that, which is fine. Now I'm vulnerable as well. Oh, beautiful. I'm going to get my Clash off after all. So let's start with Clash. Strike. Strike, and he's dead. And that procs my Shuriken. That was excellent. Whenever you enter a rest site, start the next combat with double action point. Extra. Beautiful. I do like Iron Wave. So far it's been very versatile to be able to attack and defend at the same time. How many of those do I really want? I think one more, but then I'm done. Like, at this point, I really don't know if I even need that much more in that regard. 100 gold is barely enough to buy anything, but I do want to get another relic. And I'm going to get a campfire no matter which route I go. So yeah, let's go this route. Well, I say barely enough to buy anything, and then everything here is available. Add 2 once your hand blocks, shield slam, a random card is 0, another hemokinesis. I actually don't want any of this stuff. Draw 2 cards, place a card from your hand on top of your draw pile exhaust. That's potentially good, but not really. But I never wanted to leave here without spending money, because, you know, I may not come back here. I could pick up these potions in anticipation of the final boss. I don't really need to, though. Honestly, pretty good here. Hemokinesis is the only thing I'm even kind of considering because it's such a great damage card, but let's instead remove a card from my deck permanently. And the card I choose is Block, because I've already gotten 2 Iron Waves to make up extra blocking. So if I remove the classic Defend, and I want to keep my strikes because it powers up my Ultra Strike, whatever that's called, Perfected Strike. I mean, I don't necessarily want to, I'd rather get rid of all of them, but I'm not going to get rid of all of them, so yeah, let's do that. Alright, I am now poor, and 45 gold is only enough to pick up a Hemokinesis, and I don't want to, so we're good. Moving on. It pays to keep your deck small and versatile. I mean, pays to do a lot of things, that's not the only strategy, but yeah. Okay, I could wait and let him sleep and go for my next hand at first, which would probably have armaments in it, which is good. let's do this. Draw 2, get rid of that, confirmed, and you'll see why. If I block with 1 action point, I have nothing but attacks in my hand, so then I can attack, clash, attack, which will power up my shuriken. That's a good play. I'm not gonna get a much better opening than this, so let's go for it. I miscalculated. I had already used the block rat burgers. I really wanted that. Ooh, stunned. 1 free round of combat. No, never mind. 18 damage is a lot. I can actually mitigate that down to just 3 though. Do I do that? This is my next hand. Armaments, Thunderclap, Iron Wave. Yeah, I think I'm actually okay to wait a turn. If I go all 3, I get a strength buff. Nah, it's not worth it, man. 3 damage is a safe bet right now. Wait for him to use a spell before I do something like that. Okay, I can get that strength buff that I keep wanting. Actually deals a shit ton of damage to him too. And all I have to do is face tank that much. And really my alternative is to get 5, 10, 11-ish block. 11-ish block is still pretty good here. Alright, we're going with the block strategy. Upgrading all these is also going to improve my damage after all. Ah! Wrong order. I should have made him vulnerable first. Well, the one vulnerable will wear off the same turn, so it's really not worth using. Let's Hemokinesis instead. Whack, 6 damage total. That's not actually that bad. Now the Hex comes in, so I have a full turn to do whatever I want to you. And boy, do I have plans for you. Nothing here makes you vulnerable, so 1. I can either do 18 damage for 1 action, or 18 damage for 2 actions. That's how good Hemokinesis is. And then of course a free 14, so it's 32, 38, brings him down to very low health. Yeah, we're gonna go 2 attacks is better than 1 because it'll also proc this, so this will be a high strength attack, and literally any hit scores a win here, hopefully. There you go, any hit scores a win. Thunderclap, double strike. Minimal net health loss. Do I want a second Perfected Strike? Not really, they're expensive at 2 action points. I'd rather get Hemokinesis anyway. No, we're skipping that. Upon pickup, choose an attack card. That attack card will always be in your opening hand. Ugh. That's so hard to do. Which attack card do I always want in my opening hand? I don't know. I think Clash, maybe? Because my opening is usually either to just attack with what I've got, or use skill cards. And if I use skill cards, I might have a Clash left over that I can use. Anything else is situational. Nothing here is like always the best option. Iron Wave is actually pretty reasonable because it's pretty, you know, I'm always going to be happy to block and attack. Hemokinesis is 18 damage. 18 damage in your opening hand is always good. AoE vulnerable is reasonable, but it's only 1 turn. It needs to be 2 turns to be solid. I'm very tempted to just take Clash. But there's a lot of times where I don't need to deal damage turn 1. I need to be blocking on turn 1. That's actually the bottom line, isn't it? I need to block on turn 1, so Iron Wave is the best choice. This is not a bad pickup, a strong block card, but let's just keep going. Yep, I got it. I don't need those rewards. At 56 HP, I should be able to take on the final boss, hopefully. So let's keep upgrading stuff. I just put... Ah, man, which card did I select as my bottle? Iron Wave. Yeah, I know that, but so here's the problem. I want to upgrade the Iron Wave that I picked. I don't know which one it is. Oh, there's a bottle icon in the top. See, that's what I like about this game. There's an intuitive desire that that should be there, and it's there. But yeah, generally speaking, I'm always going to want that card upgraded. This is not increasing the vulnerability window. Clash is just a damage upgrade. That does increase the vulnerability window, so that's a maybe, but no. Right now, the card I always have in my hand should be the one that I always like to see. Alright, end of Act 1. The Guardian. So from fighting him before, the way he works is every couple attacks he shifts, or every amount of damage he shifts to defense mode or offense mode after taking 30 damage. So let's get him there quickly, I guess. I don't need all this defense this turn, and I do have a lot of actions, so let's go ahead and get something I actually want here. With 5 actions, I can actually play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 this entire hand, which should be enough to trigger my Shuriken. Let's get Thunderclap down first. None of these matter yet. I could make him vulnerable right now, actually. I should do that. I can doubtlessly get another Fear Potion later if I want, and I do a lot more damage to vulnerable opponents. 75% more damage. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, I can play out my whole hand. Okay, so let's just do that. Block, block, Iron Wave, Iron Wave, and then save the best for last because of the strength up, Clash. Wow, I knocked him into defense mode pretty much immediately. Now he has this Sharp Hide ability, so if I attack him I take damage. Yuck. He's also going to be attacking me, and I used all my defense cards on turn 1. You know, I kind of don't care. A little bit of damage never killed anybody. And I really want to be hurting him too, while he's vulnerable. Yeah, I'm just going to face tank this. The only time in the game you get full heal is when you kill an act boss, and he's the boss of the act, so that's not fair. There are other times, but the time you get full heals now, so this is the time to go all out. This is the only block card I have. If I play this, upgraded Perfect Strike will be about 26 damage plus whatever the vulnerability does is 33, almost certainly enough to put him into a mode change which will cancel his attack. That's the master plan. Uh-oh. It did not put him into a mode change. Do I want to weaken his attack right now? I think I can tank this much. 16 damage is not too much to take. Oh, he doesn't lose his attack to switch modes? That's annoying. Alright, it'll take 40 damage to push him into his alternate mode and cancel that attack. I can do that with 1 Perfect Strike. Can I do that with 3 Lesser Strikes to boost my strength again? That's 10, 22, 34 is inadequate. So forget it. Just shift his mode ASAP. Ah, misplay. I should have done it in the other order, so that I got a little extra damage in before he put his shield up. Not that it's going to be a problem. At this stage I think I've pretty much won this fight. Is he still vulnerable? He is not. So inducing vulnerability is going to be key to winning. Whole hand upgraded. About 7 damage to the face. Or 20 damage to him for 6 damage plus 9 to the face. Make him vulnerable. It's worth it. He'll be vulnerable for the rest of the fight. I just need a few good hits and he's done. Hemokinesis is that few good hits. 33. If I defend first, I can also get to play my Clash. Yeah, I think this is game over. That's game over. Alright, automatic rare card for beating the boss, and oh my god, why do you do this to me? This is not a good choice, obviously. I can do almost that much damage for one action with the right setup. Although, if I vulnerable and get 75% damage increase, this is 3 mana for about 50 damage. Compare that to Brutality. At the start of your turn, this is a power, so it's always in play once you play it, and it's free to play. Lose an HP, draw a card. So extra card every turn. I mean, that's, any gamer will tell you that's awesome. But this is what I'm going to have to pick. When you play it, you lose 4 hit points, but you gain 2 action points, so you can play 2 more actions, and you draw 3 cards so that you can use it. That gives you a whammy turn. This is the one to go with, and it's exhausted after that, so you know you can't just spam it. I'll take Offering for sure. Alright, and now the hard part, the boss relic. I say the hard part because these relics are just normal relics. Boss relics are always extremely powerful and often come with downsides, and since they offer you 3, you will always have to make a hard choice. Observe. Gain an extra action point every turn for the rest of the game, but you can no longer see the enemy's action. I kind of rely on that to make strategic decisions, but an extra action point every turn means I can just deal more defense and damage, so I don't even need my good strategy. Whenever you lose HP, draw a card. Oh, I have Hemokinesis and Offering that both deal myself damage. And my opponents obviously will deal me damage, which can potentially draw me cards as well. Elites drop an additional relic when defeated. Oh wow, so if I had had that this run, I would probably have had 1, 2, 3 extra elites. Or extra relics. Literally, all of these are good picks. I don't want Runic Dome. I'm willing to keep playing this game with the strategy approach that I'm using instead of a raw power. I kind of want to try Runic Cube. My deck is pretty small at 17 cards. Getting to draw through it super fast is great. I don't want to be losing HP, so that's a downside, but a lot of cards that I'm going to get hopefully later on, like Combust or whatever, will keep dealing me damage anyway, so it's not the worst thing in the world. But Black Star, man, that gives me the potential to like get multiple extra relics, and when you have relics out to here, it's pretty awesome. This is a commitment to fight more elites next act. I was going to do that anyway, so that's not a problem. Whenever you lose HP, draw a card. Pick one and move on. This makes me more powerful now. This promises to maybe make me more powerful in the future. Take this one. And that is the end of Act 1. Thank you all for watching. I will see you guys in Act 2.